Listen, I'm excited to be back with my friends. I have with me on the stage some friends. I have Allyson Bullock with Miranda Inc., who owns her own PR firm. Go ahead, put some energy in hands for her. And sitting right next to her, I have Chelsea Edwards, who is an anchor and news reporter. Go ahead and celebrate these wonderful ladies. Listen, y'all are in industries where the pressure is pressuring, okay? So tell me, ladies, how is it that you navigate being in these industries when time is of the essence? Chelsea, I remember being on set with you. You came to our studios, you did an interview, and she came in, and she was like, okay, we have to get this out in 90 seconds.
Yes.
I was like, seconds? What? All right, so tell me about that. How do you do that every day?
Yeah, I'm sure I was late too. So it was like, oh, we got 10 minutes to get it together, girl. All right, so I think it's part of it is just the way I approach everything, which is the more you do it, the more you get used to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like now it's just second nature to be under that time crunch and have to present and be ready at all times. So it really helps when I have stories that I set up with somebody like you, because it's just like hanging with my homegirls, and it takes some of that pressure off. But you know, honestly, it is just having to be in it sometimes, just being in the fire every day. And at a certain point, it's just like you don't even realize. You're just going with it. That's all.
And now, Allyson, you deal with a different type of pressure. You get people out of trouble. All right? So tell me, what is that like, having to navigate certain situations where you are basically being the voice to make sure we say the right thing?
So I like to call it packaging. Anytime you have something negative, positive, negative, positive, start with the positive and end with the positive. If you sandwich that negative in between, it really paints a really pretty picture. So I think it's kind of fun, because most people are like, well, how do I say this and make it sound nice? It's like, well, you probably definitely don't want to say that, but try to say this instead. So I kind of love it.
I actually love that approach, the positive, negative, and then positive. I think that, what if we approached life like that? Right? Like, what if instead of just focusing on the negative, we took time to say, hold on, let me focus on the positive, give negative its time a little bit, but then I'm coming right back to positive. All right? I love that. So tell me, whenever you are in these stressful situations, obviously things happen, they don't always go right. How do you keep from cracking when things go wrong?
Ooh. Okay. I feel like it's all about perspective, because y'all just don't know how much stuff goes wrong behind the scenes. I've done live shots where my dress had ripped in the back, so anybody who was behind me could see the top of my drawers. It's been all kinds of things that go wrong. But I'm also somebody who finds the laughter in these things. So, you know, it may be rough at that time, but think about, you know, a few minutes later, an hour later, whatever, it may be a day later, but we're gonna be laughing about this. Do what you gotta do for now, and we're gonna laugh about it later.
So I think it's easier to fix other people's problems than yours. So for me, when someone comes that's like, hey, this is the issue, it's like, okay, because I can think clearly. It's like, okay, do this instead of that. Don't say this. Stay off social media for a couple of weeks, and then let's go back to square one. Versus if it was me, she's a pro. She does this every day. For me in my personal life, it takes me a little bit more time. But from the publicist lens and PR lens, it's like, I'm doing this to serve this person, and I can see a lot clearer.
Yeah. You know, isn't it interesting how we can always serve others better than sometimes we serve ourselves? Like, that's a whole reality. Like, essentially what you're saying is like, I'm top tier when it comes to anything that you need. But when it comes to what I need, got a little bit more work to do. Okay, so tell me, how did you all get into this, getting over the initial hump of fear? Like, you guys essentially signed up for pressure. You signed up for the spotlight to be on you. How did you get over the hump to be able to say, okay, that's no longer an issue. This is what I want to do.
Yeah. I'll say, so a lot of people don't realize I never intended to be on camera. I was working behind the scenes for years. That's what I felt like my calling was. I enjoyed it a lot. But so many things fell in line, from one of my supervisors at another job telling me, you need to get into reporting. You need to do this. To everybody affirming that, to God putting me in places that I did not imagine I would be in. Yeah. So when I would get scared, and it still happens, honestly, people ask me all the time, do you still get nervous? Yes, it does still happen. Yeah. But I remember that all the things that lined up to get me here, and that's what pushes me through, because it was definitely clear what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. He made it clear what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be. So anytime I have a hesitation, I want to get up out of here. Like, I do not want to do this today. I go back to that.
I love that. I love that it was an accumulation that brought you to this point, because oftentimes it's not just one thing, right? Like it's a group of things that bring us to a defining moment that we say, you know what? I've had confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. And I think that's pretty good that you can ignore some of the negative things, right? Yeah. To basically say, I've had more positive. What about you, Allyson?
So it literally started off as a thing. So friends would come with all of these ideas, like, oh, I want to do a book. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do this. And it was easy for me to be like, okay, so first, let's sit down. Let's get a big sheet of paper. Yeah. Okay, what do you like? Writing it down. What do you love? What are you naturally good at? And then once we started kind of putting it together, I realized I had a knack for just kind of putting this and be like, okay, let's package this, let's do this, let's brand this, let's do this. And it was something very second nature. Yeah. Typically, I am more in the forefront. Yeah. But this was just something genuinely easy and that I could do in just general conversation. And I'll be honest, it started from within. I love saying that phrase, reach from within. Even I tell clients, like, before you start trying to reach everywhere around the world, who do you have in your Rolodex now? Who is in your contacts that you can just call? This gift was something I reached within. It's something that I already did. Yeah. For people for free. Yes. Yes. For free. It was my husband to be like, ma'am, you need to start charging. Yeah.
Shout out to the husbands out there.
Shout out to the husbands out there.
Supporting their wives. Saying you need to put a price tag on this, all right? Okay, so tell me, ladies, in the industry that you have been in, all right, for years now, have you ever said, I can't do this?
It's like every question, I'm like, ooh, okay. We were talking at the table about all kinds of things, including struggles. And so I often ask myself that question, because with news, if any of y'all have to wake up early in the morning and see me on at 4 a.m., you know, it's tough. It's tough getting up.
And your mom.
I have a toddler who does not like to sleep right now. Yeah. So it's hard. It's those mornings. And I still have to go back to everything that's happened before now and kind of detach from presently, I'm tired. A lot of moms can relate. We tired. We tired, but you keep going, and remembering your purpose and see it through. And when God calls me to do something else, then I'll move in that direction. But right now, He's telling me to be still.
All right, so, park it. Lock in.
Be in there.
That's a loaded question, Dannie. Oh, that's such a loaded question. I think for me, if I could say, like, what kind of keeps me is learning the season that I'm in and managing it appropriately. For anyone who has kids knows that sometimes life is life. If you're married, life is life too. So there's other people now involved in your everyday decisions, including your career. So there's times that I think that in this season of my life, my family has really taken a bulk of my time. So some things I've had to say no to to say yes to my family and be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because before I wasn't, but to be okay with that.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I want to sit here and talk all day, but unfortunately we have to go to the break. Would you help me celebrate these two ladies on the stage? Yeah. Well, I certainly hope you all have enjoyed yourselves today. Have you all enjoyed yourselves? I know I certainly did. Thank you so much for helping me to make my dream a reality. It is my passion to see women all across the world be made whole. A statistic came in that said 16 million women were affected by depression. Okay, in America. And it just touches my heart to know that we can do something about it. Our government has now had the statistics to be able to determine that there are 10 things that you can do in order to make sure that you improve your mental health. It is with honor and pleasure that I can say that A Time for Her offers all 10 of those things. If you want to stay connected and if you want to follow, please follow us on all platforms at A Time for Her. I want to say thank you to all of my team, the A Time for Her team, my mom, all of our sponsors, Dreamwear, which is our over company for our nonprofit, and then also to every single one of our donors and partners. We thank you for this opportunity, and as always, we have your back, and her is you. You have a good one.